I've lost over 160 pounds naturally, and I've kept it off for 8 years and counting. Let me show you how.
Hi, I'm Shelly Johnson, author of Start Where You Are Weight Loss. It's absolutely possible to eat what you want, lose weight, and keep it off. I'm here to teach you how. Today we're going to be talking about what to do right now if you binge. All the links to everything mentioned in this video can be found in the description below. Make sure you stick around to the end and I'll share 3 tips to help you along your weight loss journey.
You are not alone.
I've had a harder time with overeating and binging in the past few months with quarantine than I have in the past few years. I've used food to try and numb my anxiety and calm my fears and alleviate stress and deal with my routine being all screwed up. I've binged because I've been an emotional wreck at times. Other times I can't get any time to myself, which I desperately need because I'm really introverted, and being by myself sometimes is what keeps me sane. I've overeaten because I've refused to accept the new normal and the way things are. I've binged because of all this uncertainty, which I'm completely not a fan of at all. I've gained 10 pounds and had my jeans not buttoned and have felt uncomfortable in my own body and been frustrated with myself because I know better, but I don't do better. So if you're struggling with food, I just want you to know that you are not alone.
You won't do weight loss perfectly, and that's okay.
Even though I've kept the weight off for 8 years, sometimes it's still a kind of knee-jerk reaction to reach for food when I'm really struggling with things in my life. I cut myself some slack though, because I don't expect to do my life perfectly. It's unrealistic to think that you're going to do weight loss perfectly, or do any of the rest of your life perfectly either, for that matter. You start saving your own life by knowing that you're going to make mistakes no matter what you do. You're human, so it's okay. I still screw up with food. The difference for me now is that I don't let my mistakes derail me anymore. I recognize that I screwed up and take steps to address it so I don't go spiraling out of control for days, then weeks, then months at a time. That's been a challenge lately because of quarantine and all this uncertainty that doesn't really have an end in sight. I've had a few weeks where I overate almost every day. I had a few days in a row when I flat out binged. I had a couple of rocky months where I felt like throwing in the towel and just eating whatever, whenever. I just want you to know that all of that had to do with me trying to get food to fix something in my life. None of it had to do with the food itself at all.
The meaning I gave food.
Here's the thing though. I think it's unrealistic to believe that you'll never overeat or binge again. Look, I spent over 30 years abusing food to try and solve my problems. I spent decades using food in a way it was never intended to be used. I binged my way up to 304 pounds at my heaviest because I gave food a meaning in my life that it never should have had. Food was my comfort. It was my friend when I needed a friend. It numbed me when I didn't want to feel anything. It kept me company when I was lonely. It gave me courage when I was scared. It was the one thing that was always there and I felt like I could always count on. It was about the only thing I trusted. I was completely emotionally attached to food.
Keep watching for 3 bonus tips at the end. How I used to live.
I used to tear through the refrigerator or the pantry, grabbing anything that was there, whether I liked the taste of it or not. I'd gather lots of food and surround myself with it, and then I'd binge eat entire containers of food in one sitting. All of a half gallon of ice cream and whole boxes of cookies and every last chip in the bag. I'd eat it fast, stuffing heaping spoonfuls or huge handfuls into my mouth, chewing quick and hardly tasting it at all, swallowing then eating more because I was so desperate for food to fix whatever was wrong. I wouldn't stop even if my stomach hurt until all the food surrounding me was gone. Afterward, I'd hide all the evidence by shoving those boxes or bags or wrappers in the bottom of the trash can. I'd rearrange the rest of the garbage on top so that nobody else would notice how much I'd eaten. I did that for decades.
Shame is the reason why.
I was ashamed of what I was doing, so I'd always sneak food and try to hide what I was doing. I was ashamed of myself too because I felt like I didn't have any control over food. I felt like I didn't have any choices because I hadn't learned many other coping skills really, and I didn't know what else to do to deal with my life. I got trapped in this cycle of shame where I felt horrible, binged to try to fix my life, then felt shame for binging, so I'd binge even more to try and numb myself, and on it went. I just want you to know that you're not alone in feeling shame either. I lived in shame for a long time because I wouldn't talk about my struggles with food, or how uncomfortable I felt in my body, or how I hated how powerless I felt, or how I hated myself. I always felt like nobody else was doing what I was doing, or feeling the same way I was. I felt like I was the only one and there was something wrong with me. I isolated myself and then I got swamped by all that shame. That cycle of shame is what kept me trapped for a long time and fueled the binge eating.
The only way out.
The thing with cycles is that they continue on, around and around and around, until you break them. If you find yourself doing the same things that don't serve you over and over in your life, then you're trapped in a cycle. You can't ever move forward going around in circles. You can't ever grow into the person you want to be. You won't ever reach your goals or purpose or passions. You won't ever realize your full potential when you're moving in circles and doing the same harmful things again and again. You need to break the cycle so that you can move in a straight line toward what you most want to have or be or do or say in your life. You have to be the one to do something different so that the circle doesn't continue. You have to be the one to save your own life. And you are absolutely capable of saving your own life. I know that you are.
It's all going to be okay.
I tell you all that so you'll know it's okay if you screw up. You're going to make mistakes. It's not a matter of if, but of when. So first of all, know that you're in excellent company with the rest of us who screw up with food and other stuff too. Second, don't let your mistakes derail you. Just learn what you can and keep going. And third, recognize that you're making a mistake so that you can take steps to fix it instead of just abusing food more.
Start Where You Are weight loss can help you stop overeating and binging and break cycles you may be trapped in. It can also help you eat what you want, lose weight, and keep it off. Weight loss tip number 1.
Weight loss is a process, which means it's not just one thing that you have to do, but a series of steps that you need to learn to get you from where you are now to where you most want to be.
Weight loss tip number 2.
It's also a practice, which means that you need to take action and do those steps every day.
Weight loss tip number 3.
The more you practice the process of weight loss, the easier it will be and the better at it you'll become.
Get a guide with the 5 secrets to effective and permanent weight loss by signing up for my newsletter.
Just remember, every mistake is simply a brand new chance to do it better the next time.